Hi, I have in front of me here a selection of compression F connectors. Okay, now traditionally in the satellite industry, most people use just simple twist-on F connectors, such as I have here on the bench in front of me. Now, compression Fs are better in terms of they give a much better seal. The disadvantage with them is twofold. Number one, they're far more expensive, and number two is that you'll need some type of a compression tool to put them on. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to cover the topic here. So you can buy these on the TV Trade website individually, or you can buy them in bags of 100 like this. So I'll just show here, if we're paring down this cable here to put on an F connector, we simply cut around, and you want to cut through the outer sheet, but not into the copper wiring. What we'll do here is we'll just pull back the copper braiding. And by hand, I'd normally just pull off the silver foil there, and I wrap this around in a clockwise direction like that, and I cut back the dielectric there. And you can see anyway the amount of central cabling exposed is far too long. What I normally do is just cut it back like this. Now at this point, if I was using a twist-on connector, I'd simply come along, I'd slide it onto position like this and rotate it repeatedly, work itself onto the cable till it's quite secure. And what we basically want is we want to achieve a point where the core wire is roughly level with the top of this. Now it's more or less exactly the same process here in terms of paring it down for the compression Fs that we're going to show you here. So what I'm going to do with this compression F here is I'm simply going to slide this on here. Now the key part of this compression F here is that you can see here that we have the tail part of the plastic and the metal housing, and we have an exposed central section here. And this sleeve part, when we put compression on it, it will actually push itself down onto the actual cable and lock it tightly into position. Okay, so what we're going to do here in this particular thing is I'm just going to slide this into position here, and we'll just work it into position. If we look at the top of the cable there, I've actually successfully pushed it all the way through. Okay, so at that, it's a somewhat tight connection on it, but what we're going to do here is I'm just going to slide this into position here, and you can see here, I'll just let you focus as we do this. So we have a situation here, just to show you the locking mechanism. The copper wire in the center slots into the little hollow shape here. The next part pushes in, and then we have at the very base of the compression tool here, we have a situation where it'll actually catch this plastic housing here in a second. So as we apply pressure by pushing down the handle, the plastic inner casing will be pushed into the metal outer casing. So as we do this, we lock it down, and you can see it's closing up, and now if we do a comparison between the compressed F connector and the non-compressed one, we can see here that the connector is considerably shorter, and it's because this part here has actually been pushed under the metal casing. Now if we come along and we pull on this F connector here, we can see it's locked very tightly. Now you'll notice that on the cable there I actually left some of the copper braiding on the outside. Now depending, we'll say, we've had it in the past a different type of connectors, things like this, where it's a tighter fit. And these ones here, it's just better to leave that little bit of braiding on the outside because it maximizes the strength of the connection you're going to achieve. Now there's no comparison between this type of connector and the F connector in terms of it gives a much better join, and particularly if you're doing a professional job or you want to have a high-end type finish, or if you're in a situation, let's say, where you'll be pulling your satellite box in and out the hoover behind the television and you don't want the hassle of the connectors pulling off, using this type of compression F connector can be a great success. So that's it. It's part of the wider range of connector and compression tools available on the tvtrade.ie website.